Welcome to Hoffman's Hot Seat. I'm Tom Hoffman with One-to-One Media, and joining me today is Brad Wilson, General Manager of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Today we'll be discussing customer trends around CRM and social networking. Brad, thanks for joining me today.
Tom, thank you. It's a very exciting topic. Glad to have a chance to speak with you today about it.
What are some trends that you're seeing in terms of how customers are integrating CRM systems with social networks?
I think what we're really seeing is an evolution of how companies are driving their customer engagement strategies. In the last 20 years, we've seen a kind of a move from face-to-face to phone-based to web-based. And now what's really exciting is the social networks provide another way for businesses to keep track of their customer preferences and to engage them at certain points within their day-to-day environment, whether in a business-to-consumer or a business-to-business environment.
Are customers having any success at measuring the return on investment from utilizing social CRM? And if so, are there any particular metrics or measurements that appear to be useful?
Well, I think if you look at it, we kind of think about how we can break down social media interactions in the CRM space in kind of three ways. And one of the first strategies there is really to observe, and that observation is trying to go ahead and make sure that you're aware of how your products or your services or your brand are being discussed in social networks. And so that observation helps you be more responsive. The second piece really is to go ahead and tie significant analytics behind it to make sure you can look at trends. So if you are seeing sentiment moving for or against certain products or initiatives that you have, that analysis helps you to make changes that might not be delivered directly through social media, but may affect your pricing strategy or your broader market communication strategy. So you want to observe and you want to analyze. And the third piece, which I think is obviously an area which still has a lot of thought and creativity that's required to know how to do it right, is how to engage with social networks. And what I mean by that is, how do businesses engage in social networks in an ethical and authentic way? And so some basic things might be where if people on a social network are complaining or have negative sentiment about your company or product, you should be able to reach out to them proactively using your existing CRM technology to go ahead and engage them and try to help remediate their problem and create a more positive perception for your business, or at least to really just get to the core of their problem and help them address it.
Interesting. So for marketers that are interested in trying to measure returns on social CRM investments, what are some initial steps they should take to get started?
Well, these are very early days for this. And I do think that there isn't a well-developed body of science around this that tells people exactly how to track this and how to drive ROI from it. However, there are a lot of tools in CRM today to determine, where do you invest your money from a marketing perspective? How are your service costs being influenced by various kinds of customer issues? There are ways to tie back information you learn from social media channels to help you measure that against your marketing ROI or your service cost envelope, or even things like your sales cycle times. So there are more traditional CRM metrics that you can tie back to your social media engagement and try to measure the influence of these emerging channels on your business. It's very similar, Tom, to when we first started bringing on additional channels, again, like phone, like internet, etc., IVR. People had to think about how this was either, doing some cost shifting for them, either driving revenue upside or helping them target investment more carefully. The same types of analytical technologies can be applied for social media as well, but I will say that it's early days and best practices are evolving. And a lot of companies and a lot of partners are really looking at this and trying to tie these new media back to more established models of valuation for investments.
Well, this certainly is a nascent area.
Certainly. I think it's an area where, as Microsoft, we're taking a very broad approach to this, not just within CRM, but across our entire portfolio. We think that this whole approach to enabling and empowering companies to engage with social networks is really a pervasive thing across the entire platform. So certainly we think a lot about it from our position look specifically. And CRM and both CRM, we call it XRM, where XRM is additional applications that aren't necessarily CRM but have the same kind of characteristics like in public sector or in healthcare. But thinking about how these different applications across your desktop productivity, across your content collaboration, across unified communications and across traditional CRM, whether it's sales, service, marketing, etc., how all of these things can help people as consumers to better engage in social networks, and for businesses to support these social networks and to deliver much more valuable products and services and responsiveness through engagement around social media. So we don't look at this as a narrow thing that involves just a CRM tool. It's more of a systemic and a pervasive thing for us. And definitely with our engagement around software plus services, we think this is a great way to help drive the connection of software and online delivered services in a very high-impact way, again, both for consumers as well as for businesses, and really helping businesses drive that one-to-one perspective, not just through traditional channels, but through new emerging channels as well.
To learn more about relationship strategy, visit www.one-to-onemedia.com.